Okay, your persistence is paying off because we have reached the final interval, at least for now, that we're going to discuss, which is the perfect octave or perfect eight. Remember, we discussed before that there are some intervals that are major and minor, and then there's some that are perfect, right? We had the perfect unison, perfect fourth, perfect fifth, and now the perfect octave. Because really the perfect octave and the perfect unison are practically the same because it's the same pitch, right? So, for instance, C to C, right? It gives us a P8 or a perfect eighth or a perfect octave. It is 12 half steps, okay? Which is important because if you wrote a C here and a C flat here, and you just saw two C's and said, oh, that's a perfect octave, well, then you'd be wrong because that would, a C to a C flat is only going to be 11 half steps, right? So it's still got to be 12 half steps. So you got to make sure that the first note, that each note are the same name, right? Now, in addition to this, I want to show you guys a little trick because really there's not a lot else to talk about the perfect octave. So what I want to discuss here is how do you recall all of the intervals that we've discussed in between this and not get so confused with it. So bear with me here for a second. Okay, so what I've done here is I've added a little key for you. Okay, if you always remember that if you start on C and go up, and you're in the key of C, you have no sharps, no flats, then the trick here is that any interval going up from C, as long as you stay on the white keys, is going to be either major or perfect. So for instance, C to C, perfect unison, is going to be 0 half steps. C to D, which is an interval of a second, is going to be 2 half steps, which makes it a major second. C to E is going to be a third, and it's 4 half steps, so it's a major third. C to F, which is an interval of a fourth, but it's 5 half steps, so it's going to be a perfect fourth. C to G is a perfect fifth. C to A is a major sixth. C to B is a major seven, and C to C is a perfect octave. So the numbers here indicate how many half steps from C or from your lowest note, and these are all major or perfect. Okay, so watch this. All right, so what I've added here underneath is these are all intervals from the C. So perfect unison, major second, major third, perfect fourth, perfect fifth, major sixth, major seven, perfect eight. What I need you to do is memorize these numbers across here. 0, 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11, 12. Okay, so 0, 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11, 12. Right, 0, 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11, 12. Those will identify your perfect and major intervals in half steps. Okay, to get to your minor from any major interval, to get to your minor, just subtract 1 from this number. Okay, so if it's only 1 half step, it's a minor second. If it's only 3 half steps, it's a minor third, so on and so forth. Okay, now we're not going to discuss what happens if you do that with the perfects just yet, because we haven't discussed it yet. That is to come. But memorize these numbers: 0, 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11, 12 to get your majors and perfects. Subtract 1 from your majors and you get minor. I hope that makes sense to you, and I hope that helps when you start trying to put all of these things together, because we've done them all separately, and coming soon is going to be an exercise where you're going to have all these intervals in one exercise, and you're going to have to figure out what they are. Okay, so that's going to be a little tricky, but this will help. Snap a screenshot, take a picture of this. This will help you use this as a key. Also, at the very end of this, we have this nice little chart. And get all of this out of the way. And this gives you the same thing, just it doesn't show it to you on the keyboard. And I think seeing it on the keyboard like we just had does help. So if you just look at these two columns, the perfects and the majors, and you see over here first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth, you'll see that we have those numbers again: 0, 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11, 12. Okay, so this is that same chart again. This will come in handy when we start diving into these other things. But honestly, if you just memorize these two columns right here in this order, then all the rest of these will make sense, because you can always go from this and then just subtract or add, for your minors, and then when we talk about augmenteds and diminished later on. All right, guys, thank you.